G'day legends, g'day superstars. Peps here with the round 4 AFL tips. And before we get into it, what an absolute cracker of a game it was last night at the Jabba the Hutt with the magnificent Brisbane Lions taking a huge win over the Collingwood Magpies. Brisbane came in and did exactly what they did to the Demons 2 weeks ago. They are formidable up there at the Jabba. But once they come down and travel down to Melbourne, where, let's be honest, that's where the big business happens, they find it a little bit troubling. So it's going to be interesting to sort of see how they bounce back after this particular week. Collingwood was strangled. They had an opportunity early in the first to maybe break out the game a little bit. Unfortunately, weren't able to take home the biscuits, and it was a great win by the Brisbane Lions. So it does shake it up a little bit for the Thursday night game leading into today, which is Good Friday. And is it say more about Brisbane or more about Collingwood? I think it says more about Brisbane, the fact that they can play good football if they give the opportunity for their forwards to get some room. Danaher up the ground was brilliant. Hipwood actually hitting contest was fantastic, and they stifled the movement of Collingwood as well too. So a great win to the Brisbane Lions. Collingwood will have a good think about it. It'll be interesting to see what the other teams in the league do with what happened out of that game. Let's into the Good Friday game, Friday 7th of April, and it is the traditional North Melbourne Good Friday game at 4:20pm at Carlton. In Aiden Bonner, Jai Simpkin, Luke Davies, Uniac, 3 massive ins. Daniel Howe's been omitted. Griffin Logue has been suspended, very, very stiff. Hugh Greenwood omitted, and Josh Goad has been omitted. In for the Blues, Jayesh Honey is in. Blake Acres suspended. Matthew Owies injured. Now, speaking to a Carlton supporter earlier in the week, and they said to me, Peps, this is a game I think we might actually drop. And if you look at the sort of way that North have been playing, it is at their home ground at Marvel. They get 2 big body, awesome midfielders in Simpkin and Luke Davies Uniac in, which is sensational. My concern is the Twin Towers down forward. Curnow and Mackay, how are they going to stop them? That saying, I actually think North might be a sneaky chance here. Sam Walsh isn't coming back. The other reason why North didn't win last week was Simpkin and Davies Uniac not being in there. And I think they are a massive chance to cause a bit of an upset. Have I picked them? No. I have actually gone with Carlton, and I'm going by Carlton by probably about 3 goals. But it wouldn't be it would be one of those games that if we look back and go, we saw that coming, this might say more about North than Carlton. So I am going with Carlton by 3 goals. But come back on Tuesday night with the Lace Out Live show, and I would not be surprised if North Melbourne win this one. All right, let's head into the traditional Saturday, April 8th game. Adelaide Crows versus the Fremantle Dockers. Ned McHenry is in for the Crows. Out, Luke Pedlar suspended. Sam Berry has been arrested. Ned McHenry playing his 50th game. Well done, young man. Bailey Banfield and Brandon Walker are both in. Heath Chapman injured. Michael Johnson was the sub. Michael Frederick, Mr. Backflips. He's been injured. Don't know how or when. And Sam Switkowski playing his 50th game. Congratulations, young man. I'm going with the Crows here. They were sensational against Port Adelaide last week. Riley Thorthorpe having a great week. Rankin was sensational. Rory led through that midfield. I just think they're going to be too strong. I don't trust Fremantle at the moment. We saw that they literally just got across the line against West Coast after 3.5 quarters, and it simply came down to injury. They're not firing a shot. Their forward line is a rabble at the moment. And Adelaide at 1:45 tomorrow afternoon is a certainty. So the Crows to take that one out. This is going to be a belter at the MCG 4:35 tomorrow. The Richmond Tigers versus the Western Bulldogs of Footscray. Dustin Martin in. Jacob Hopper in. Tyler Sonsie in. Jack Riewoldt managed. Jack Ross omitted. Morris Rioli omitted. And Trent Cotchin managed. For the Dogs, no changes. Riley Garcia is injured at this particular moment. And Camden McIntosh playing his 150th game. So where do we look at this? Where do we see Richmond at the moment? I'm concerned. I'm still tipping them not to make the 8. Even with Martin, Hopper and Sonsie in, Riewoldt is a big loss down forward, I think, and managing him 4 games in is a little bit strange. Same with Cotchin. And I think Morris Rioli hasn't been the worst. I'm going with the Doggies at this one. The Doggies at the G. They were sensational against Brisbane last week. And if they bring the heat and they bring the pressure like they did last week, Ugle Hagen was on fire. The Bont was magnificent. McRae just doing his thing on the wing. And the back line works so much better. Even Josh Bruce floating through that back line and even having some run out of there as well too is strong. Jones was looking better. Keith was looking better. So I think from what I've seen out of the two teams, even though they were disappointing the first couple of weeks, from what I saw with Richmond from the Western Bulldogs last week, I think that they can bring that in. And I just think Dustin Martin isn't the player that he once was, and everybody has to realise that he is getting older, and he's not going to be like when he won 3 Norm Smiths as part of his career earlier on. That player is gone. He may be able to turn a game, but the question or the word is there, may. Hopper's not going to be able to do it, and Sonzi's not going to be the match winner there. So I'm going with the Doggies. A consistent team, hopefully will bring a consistent result, and I'm picking the Doggies by no more than 2 goals. Alrighty, St Kilda versus the Gold Coast Suns, Marvel Stadium. The unbeaten by the team that beat the unbeatable, if you know what I mean. No changes at this stage for the Saints. Jimmy Webster is injured, but they haven't named any replacements. In for the Suns, Bailey Humphrey and Mac Andrew. Out is Alex Sexton, Jai Ferrara, and Sam Flanders. Ferrara omitted, Flanders injured. Bailey Humphrey, first game, congratulations. And Ben Ainsworth playing his 100th game. Suns will take a lot out of their win against Geelong last week up there at Heritage Stadium. St Kilda playing at Marvel. They love it. They are fast. They are quick. They stream beautifully out of the contest. And if you listen to my lace out review of why they've increased their output compared to 2022 and why Geelongs have dropped, they're very much run and gun. They don't overuse the ball. As soon as they get it, handball, kick long into the forward line and get onto the swooping ball. I'm going with Gold Coast because if I had to look at, I'm going with St Kilda probably by 4 goals. I just don't trust Gold Coast. Now, it wouldn't surprise me though if Gold Coast pull one of those wins completely out of the bag. First game during the year, they were woeful against Sydney. They came down, they played Essendon. They were in with a chance and their hearts just dropped out of it. They can't do that against St Kilda, otherwise it's going to be over very, very quickly. So I'm going by St Kilda by 5 goals. But if the real Gold Coast Suns, who we think have the potential to knock off a team like this, come out and do it, could be a better game than we expect. But I think St Kilda will be too strong and continue their unbeaten ways. The last game for Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at the SCG, the Sydney Swans versus Port Adelaide. Sydney got beaten by a much better Melbourne Football Club last week at the G. I was there to see it, and Melbourne completely beat them at the contest, smashed them at the contest, and ran it out. It was almost like the Swans weren't able to play the big ground. And that sounds strange, but the bigger ground, Melbourne were able to spread a lot faster, be able to find some more holes for their ball movement, and it paid dividends on the scoreboard. Matt Roberts is out as the sub, no changes for the Swans. In for Port Adelaide, Dylan Williams, Jackson Mead, Jack Mentray, and Trent McKenzie all in. The hyphen, Darcy Byrne-Jones omitted. Lockie Jones omitted. Orazio Fanchaser injured. Rolly Bonner omitted. Tom Cleary omitted as well. Port Adelaide simply have to win, don't they? But I can't see it happening. They are just too inaccurate. They're too unreliable. They're like that car that you always, when you get in, you're not too sure whether you're going to have a smooth drive or you're going to be bunny hopping from place to place. Is it going to overheat or is it going to get me there in a nice roll? I just don't know. I just don't trust Port Adelaide at the moment. I don't trust Ken Hinkley. I don't think many people who are Port Adelaide supporters, even Jamie, the J-Dog Wallace, would even say, in Kenny we trust, with his tongue firmly planted in his cheek. I'm going by the Swans to bounce back. 4 goals, easy for that one. Let's move into Sunday, April 9th. Essendon 210 Marvel Stadium versus the GWS. Andrew Phillips, Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, Will Snelling all in. No news and no outs at this stage. For the GWS, number 1 draft pick, Aaron Cadman, Adam Kennedy, and Josh Fay all come in. And welcome to Cadman and welcome to Fay, your first games for the Giants. Good luck with your career, gentlemen. Essendon, well, what can you say about them? They've probably surprised a lot of people. They're playing some fast football. They were sensational last week to get a great, sensational the week before, not against St Kilda last week. Many people thought that they were a massive chance to win that one, but St Kilda overrun them. And GWS, look, they were a little bit stifled by what happened with Cornelio and that dodgy free kick as well. Cadman coming in, I'm picking an upset. I'm going with the Giants for this one. Don't ask me why, but I like what they're doing under Adam Kingsley. They're moving the ball faster. Cadman and Hogan down forward are going to be 2 focal points that Essendon have to deal with. I do like what Dylan Shield is bringing. It's probably his best football he's played in a number of years. Looks like he's settled in nicely, but I just going with the GWS Giants. There's just no sort of reason why, but I think Essendon would be a little bit worried about what GWS could bring. Essendon have been on high for quite a while, for 3 weeks, playing great football. There has to be a bit of a hiccup, not against St Kilda. These are the teams that they should beat, but I reckon GWS might cause an upset with this one. So I'm going with GWS by less than a goal. Let's move into the second last game over at Optus Stadium, 5:20 p.m. Optus Stadium, West Coast Eagles versus Melbourne. Have a look at this. Have West Coast, they haven't swung the axe. It's just come simply down to injuries. Let's start with who's out. Alex Witherden, injured. Campbell Chesser, injured. Dom Sheed, injured. Jamie Cripps, injured. Jerry McGovern, injured. Liam Ryan, injured. Luke Shuey, all injured. Coming in, Bradley Howe, Connor West, Elliot Yeo for his first game, Greg Clark, best name in AFL footy, Jack Petrocelli, Jai Cully, Josh Rotham, Luke Edwards, Luke Foley, and Xavier O'Neill. 10 changes have been made, or 10 players named. I can't recall in the entire time of doing lace out / tipped out that I've ever seen that many changes come in over a single week. For the Ds, at this stage, Adam Tomlinson, Keziah Pickett, Luke Dunstan, Tom McDonald are all in. Ben Brown has been injured with a bit of back complaint. Melbourne should be a minimum of 10 to 12 goals if they really, really do put the foot to the throat, the sword to the chest. They should decapitate the West Coast Eagles, clip their wings by a minimum of 12 goals, and it's something that they need to do and take opportunities like this because it doesn't come too often when you have a look at multiple premiership players, key position players out of a team, and the Ds are virtually at full strength. They'll bring in Keziah Pickett for Ben Brown easily. 12 goals at a minimum, I think. Now, this is the interesting game. A lot of people are excited by this. Monday, Easter Monday, April 10th, the Geelong Cats, traditional against Hawthorn, 3:20 p.m. at the MCG, the home of football. Brandon Parfait, and everybody loves Parfait, Jay Collar-Jasny, Mitch Duncan, Reece Stanley are all in. Sam de Koning has been injured. The Chad is back. Wingard, Jacob Kajitsky, and Josh Weddle all in. First game is Josh Weddle. Good luck with your career, young man. The Cats simply have to win, don't they? Otherwise, they're going to be 0-4. And if you said that at the start of the season after a team had won 16 in a row, even 17 in a row, I believe, you'd be saying, Peps, what have you been smoking? Well, I haven't been smoking and I haven't been popping. Geelong have been absolutely woeful this year. And you can hear from the stats on last Tuesday's Lace Out how their performances literally across the board have dropped considerably. Hawthorn were great last week against North Melbourne. I think that they're a massive chance. And they should be a massive chance. They'll be high on belief going against the team. They always get themselves up for this. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it right now. I am going with an upset. Hawthorn to beat the Cats on the traditional Easter Monday game. And wow, won't the Cats supporters be asking the big questions? How can we have won a flag and then gone 0-4? And Hawthorn will be going, you know what? The Sam Mitchell rebuild is real. So there's my tipped out for this round 4 of AFL football. Remember to join me live Tuesday nights, Lace Out, 8 p.m. on the Facebook page or wherever you listen to this fantastic little podcast. And more importantly, once again, a special thank you to Jamie the J-Dog Wallace. If you haven't heard, has left Jace Lace Out. He won't be part of the regular broadcast as he has been for literally the last 5 years. So we're going to miss him a hell of a lot. So leave a shout out on the Facebook page to the J-Dog because the show's not going to be the same without him. But we'll continue on and we'll continue bringing on this great content. So enjoy. Hopefully your team wins. I'll see you on Tuesday night. And just remember, it's tipped out. It's how you want your footy tips. I'm Chris Pepper. Have a great Easter weekend.